What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chef Chy, aka Little Taste of China. You see what is going on here, all this yumminess, okay? Tonight, we are making some good old soul food, Southern soul food at that. If you love Southern food, especially turkey wings like I do, a good old smothered Southern turkey wing, you came to the right channel. We're gonna make this really nice and easy for you. Easy steps, easy to just, you know, put it all together and make it, and you know, go take it to your grandma's house. She's gonna be very proud of you. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so right now. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure you hit the notification button so that you are never ever lost in the sauce when I make a new meal, okay? So today, once again, I love me some good Southern soul food. My family is Creole. We are, well, my family, my grandmother and them, they're from Louisiana. I'm from Los Angeles, but you know, it just rubs on down generation to generation, okay? You already know I have my glass of wine and I am ready to go. Guys, ready? So we're gonna get started. First things first, you wanna make sure you got nice, clean, washed hands, surface is cleaned. I have done all my prepping ahead of time so that this video isn't extremely long. We wanna get straight to the point and make it very yummy. You're actually gonna get 2 for 1, because not only are you going to be making some amazing turkey wings, you are also going to learn how to make gravy. A lot of people are scared of gravy. They think it's so hard to make, and honestly, it's super easy. Once you get the technique, you're going to be making it all the time. I promise you, from turkey wings to smothered chicken, smothered pork chops, smothered fish, whatever you want to make, you can make it, okay? It also will help you to be able to make a roux for your gumbo, for those of you who don't know how to make a roux, okay? So we're gonna start with some turkey wings. They were whole. I cut them, so I cut the leg off, as you can see. I cut the leg off and just cut these. So we start off with the turkey wings, okay? We also, let's go next to the seasonings. All this will be listed down in the description box. I have some Kinders, the blend. This is really yummy, I like it. If you do not have this, an alternative would be some type of chicken seasoning or poultry seasoning of your choice. The exact measurements will be down in the description. You're gonna need some garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, just a little bit of accent. For those of you that don't know about accent, all it does is just enhance the flavors. I grew up on this. My grandmother used it, and every time she would make greens or anything, she would use a little bit of accent, and it would just enhance those flavors. But it's optional. You do not have to use that, okay? Smoked paprika, any one of your favorite Cajun seasonings. I'm using Tony's. You need real fresh garlic cloves, about 4 to 5 garlic cloves. I didn't have any, so I'm going to use some minced garlic. You're also going to need 2 stalks of celery, 1 onion cut and diced, 1 red bell pepper cut and diced, and another green bell pepper cut and diced. You're also going to need about 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and you're going to also need about 2 cups or so of chicken stock. If you don't have chicken stock, you can use water or vegetable broth, but I'm using chicken stock, okay? Here's my seasonings already there. Check the description box to make sure the exact measurements. And you can change any of these seasonings for whatever you like, okay? Cooking is all in your taste. So if you see something up here that you don't like, switch it out. Make it good for you. You do not have to use my measurements, okay? So we have cleaned our turkey meat already, and all we're gonna do is go ahead and season it up. We're gonna leave a little bit in there. Just gonna season it up. We cleaned it and dried it, okay? So I'm leaving some in there. I used about half of my seasoning, or a little bit over half, and I'm gonna set the rest down, okay? Now you wanna take clean hands, of course, or use a glove. This is for me and the family. Don't judge me. I'm going to use my bare hands, but they are clean, I promise you. Go ahead and mix that up and make sure that it's all around all the turkey meat. I still have a little wetness to my meat, but that's okay. You can get them drier if you like so that the seasoning sticks, but this is absolutely okay. Just go ahead and toss and make sure you get the seasoning all over each piece and coat it evenly, okay? Now, all of my turkey wings are nice and seasoned. I'm using a Pyrex little pan. You can use whatever, a roasting pan, whatever you have, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. but this is what I'm using. If you want to, you can cover the bottom with foil. I'm not. I'm just gonna go ahead and use it just like this. You also, guys, want to preheat your oven on 375. You never wanna put a Pyrex pan in the oven as it's preheating. Another tip for you guys, when you are taking it out, never put it on a cold surface. Try to find like a towel or something that you can place it on when you're taking it out the oven extremely hot, okay? So right now we have the oven, because it will break. If you guys did not know, it will bust, it will break, it will be glass everywhere, it'll be hot. And we just wanna be careful if you did not know, okay? So that's just a little tip 101. Oven is preheated at 375. These turkey legs, if you wanna say turkey meat, these turkey wings are going to cook for about 2 hours. So I'm not gonna start my timer until I put them in the oven, okay? So as of right now, we're also going to be using a cast iron skillet. If you don't have a cast iron skillet, that's totally fine. We're going to let this go ahead and heat up. So I am turning my pan up a little bit, the fire up. I'm going to get it nice and hot and then turn it down. We want the pan to get nice and hot. And then you can use a vegetable oil, a canola oil. You just want to make sure that you have an oil that has a, what am I trying to say right now? A high smoking point, if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry, you guys, it's the wine, it's the wine. But you want something that can upstand the heat. You understand what I'm saying? Nothing that's gonna burn too much. And we're gonna go from there. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter as well. I did not say that, but I wanna use a little tiny bit of butter. Feel the heat, okay? So then you can turn it down a little bit. And then you wanna add a little bit of your oil. You don't need much. Just a little bit to kinda cover the bottom, because what we're going to be doing, and I might have put a little bit too much, but it'll be okay. But you just want to kind of cover the bottom. Like I said, I put a little bit too much, so you want to do a little bit less than that. And while it's still heating up, you want to go ahead and take a little corner of your butter, okay? Take that, add that in there. I'm going to let this get nice and hot. And all we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to brown our turkey legs, our turkey wings, turkey legs. So while that's heating up, we're going to take the leftover seasoning that we had from our turkey wings, add that into our 2.5 cups of flour. Okay, stir that around, give it a good mix. Or you can put this into a bag, like what do you call it? Any kind of little bag, and just shake it up. I'm just putting it in a bowl. Mix that up really good. You're gonna use this flour later to make your gravy. So once it's mixed in good, you're gonna go ahead and take your turkey wings, add that, and coat it very nicely, okay? Go ahead and coat it all over. Make sure it's coated all over, because we're just gonna brown these. We're not gonna be cooking them all the way through. You don't need to cook them all the way through, because we're gonna throw them in the oven. But we do want to get a nice crisp on it and brown them. And when you basically sear and brown, guys, what you're doing is locking in all those flavors. So you're like kind of crisping the outside up and locking in all the juices and the flavors on the inside of the turkey meat, or if you're frying chicken or whatever. So now our grease and our butter is getting a little bit, you know, it's warming up. You want to make sure you don't have it too hot, because you don't want the butter to burn. It will be gross. And we're gonna go ahead and add our turkey meat. And we're just gonna be browning it, okay? I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit, because I want it to be a little bit higher, but not too high. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the heat on that. And I think I could fit one more piece in there. So I'm gonna go ahead, take another turkey wing, go ahead and coat it all up. And take the bowl with you, you guys. Don't take it and go over to the stove and get a bunch of flour everywhere. But let's go ahead and shake that off and add it right in the mix, okay? So you just wanna go ahead and just brown that up. You hear that? Sounds so amazing. Now, if it starts to get a little smoky in your kitchen, I'm okay right now. It's not too much smoke coming out. I don't got it too high. Got it just right. But you definitely want to make sure that your fire is high enough to go ahead and brown this. But if it gets too high, just go ahead and hit the fan. You don't want it too smoky. I have a lot of space, as you can see, so, and I got my door open too, just in case it got smoky, but actually I'm doing pretty fine. Open some windows up, do what you gotta do. Now we're gonna go ahead and start to turn it. See how it's all nice and crisp now? Now you wanna turn it and brown it on the other side. There we go, just like that. Let's flip this one the other way so we got room. Go ahead and let that start to brown. This one could have stayed on a little bit longer, but it's all good. It is all good, guys. Make sure you got it on the meat side, where all the meat is. Go ahead and brown that side. And actually, if you want to cut this side, cut the wing off right here, you can, this little leg part. You are definitely okay to do that, and you could just keep these two big parts. Totally up to you. And go ahead and brown this side. It's smelling so good right now. And remind you, we're not fully cooking this. We are just browning it because it's going in the oven. Now I'm gonna take this leg part of the turkey and just sit it up for a little bit. If it'll stay up, kind of brown that too. And we're gonna flip it on this side next, just so that we brown each side. You want to just turn it over. And then we're going to flip it on this side, okay? I'm going to get each piece. I'm going to go and flip this side over one more time. Flip this side over one more time. And flip this side over. Might look a little dark from my camera, but this is a nice golden brown. It looks a little dark on my camera as I'm looking at it, but it's perfectly fine. And then you're gonna get your Pyrex. You're gonna sit that next to you. Sit it right there. And then you wanna take all of this meat out. Set it in the Pyrex. And then you want to continue with the rest of the pieces. If you do need more oil, I'm looking at this right now. I want to turn my fire down. It's a little too high, so we're going to turn that down. We're going to add a little bit more oil, a little bit more butter, and continue with the last couple of pieces. Not too much. That in there, and then add the rest of your pieces, okay? You want to go ahead and continue and brown the rest of your turkey meat. All right, so now we have browned the last batch of our turkey wings. Nice and golden brown. It smells amazing here at this point. You just want to go ahead and place those into your Pyrex as well. Place them all in there. As so. Get it nice and evenly distributed so the heat can get all around there, okay? Now we want to turn our fire off and move that pan off the heat because we need this oil because all of the drippings from the, the turkey meat is going to make for a nice gravy, okay? So you want to go ahead and just remove that to the back. Let it cool off. We're going to use this to make a nice gravy. So in the meantime, what you want to do is take your turkey wings, okay? Get you some foil. Cover the pan nice and tight, okay? So so as you can see, my pan is nice and tight. And what we're gonna do is, don't worry about this piece. I had a couple holes right there that I just went over with the second piece, but it's covered nice and tight. We're gonna put it in the oven on 375. So we have that in the oven. We're gonna go ahead and close. We're gonna put a timer on the upper, and we're gonna put 2 hours and start, okay? When this goes off, you always need a timer. If you don't have a timer in your oven, set it on your phone, but you need your timer because it's gonna take a little over 2 hours, because once we put the gravy on there, it's gonna cook for about another 20 minutes and it's gonna be so yummy. All right, so now at this point, it is time to get this gravy going. I moved it back, my pan. I have put it on medium high. We don't want it too high. We want it to get nice and hot again. It's time to take a sip of wine, of course. And then we're gonna add all of our vegetables in. So we're adding our green bell pepper. We are adding our red bell pepper. We are adding our celery. Oh, this one. And we are adding our onions. Okay? To get everything. You want all that goodness. It looks like a lot, but it's gonna be so yummy. So now you wanna go ahead, mix this around and cook it down. Cook it down. I know it looks a little dark, don't worry about that. It's gonna be so yummy. And I actually like my gravy darker, and that's gonna help to thicken up the gravy as well, okay? So that is totally fine. And you want to go ahead and cook this down for about maybe 10 to 20 minutes. It just depends on how high you have it. I don't want to overcook it, so I'm leaving it on medium high. And I'm just going to give it one good stir and let it sit, and then I'll come back and give it another stir, okay? So as you can see, it's still on medium high. Our vegetables have cooked down. And if you don't like so many vegetables or thick vegetables like this, just use half the count. So if I said 1 onion, use a half of onion. If I said 1 bell pepper, use a half of the bell pepper or part of the bell pepper. I just like all the flavors from all of the vegetables, but you do not have to have as many, okay? So now what we're gonna do is, you see that seasoned flour that we had from the, when we did our turkey wings? We're gonna take a half a cup. And you want to sprinkle it in a little at a time. And this is when we start our browning process. So mix that in a little bit. Pour a little on top. And then, see, I still have a lot left. You want to go ahead and whisk it in. If you're trying to brown the flour and get that flour taste out of there. Now keep in mind, I never added any more oil. Remember that? I never added any more oil. You need to add no more oil. You only need a little bit of oil, and that's where a lot of people mess up on their gravy because they add too much oil. So that little bit after we had browned our turkey wings, that's all you need. So now I still have I'm still on a half a cup. I have a little bit left. I'm gonna set that down and then continue to brown this. The more flour you have, the more gravy you will have, okay? So we just want to go ahead and brown this. Take a whisk and just kind of mix it in. Get all those flavors into the flour so you can take that floury paste out. Okay. I think I'm going to use the full half a cup. I think I should be fine. This might even make a good gravy too. I'll add a little bit more gravy just to be sure. I'm gonna use a half a cup. That's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use a half a cup of flour. Mix that in, brown it, get it in there. The darker you want your gravy, the longer you brown it. But remember, because of my oil from browning the turkey wings, it became a little bit dark. It wasn't burnt or anything. You can smell it when it's burnt, so it was totally fine. And now that we've browned this, you can go a little longer if you want. Now you want to go ahead and start to add little by little your, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do that later. I normally would have added garlic, but I'm gonna wait to add the garlic. So now you want to add little by little chicken stock, okay? Go ahead and do that. Get a spoon and just mix in. The thicker you want your gravy, the less liquid you use. And you want to make it thinner, you just go ahead and add more. So you see it's too thick right now, so we want to keep adding. So now add little by little and just stir it in. See how thick it is? We don't want it that thick, so now we want to add more. And I probably shouldn't have added that much flour, but it's okay. Always ways around this. Go ahead and stir. You can get your whisk or your spoon. Add a little bit more. And see, now I'm out of chicken stock. What does that mean? Nothing. You just add water, okay? I'm gonna add a little water to our gravy. About 2 cups of water, and I'm gonna slowly mix this in. Because I don't like it that thick, but I like it thick. And I maybe should have used a half a cup, so maybe a little bit smaller, 1/4 cup of flour maybe, but it's still okay. Oh no, this is perfect. So it's gonna thicken up a little bit more. Use your whisk at this point so that you can get any chunks of anything out. You wanna get the chunks out. Any big chunks of flour. Mix that in there. I like this thickness, but because I have so many turkey wings, I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Mix that in. Just like so. And I think that should be the perfect consistency. It's thick, but not too thick, but not watery. No one likes a watery gravy. So now that we have that going, I'm gonna turn this fire down, and I'm gonna keep it on super low as I get ready to mix all my flavors in it. So I'm gonna turn my fire very low. And what you wanna do is add maybe, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of garlic, minced garlic in there, and add that in there as it slow cooks. And see, when you use fresh garlic, you won't get this look where it looks like it's a bunch of seeds in there. So now you want to go back and you just want to taste your gravy at this point. You want to taste the gravy. I know I see a couple of little black specks. That's okay. That's from the browning of the turkey, but it's totally okay. But now you just want to taste this. Make sure your flavor is good because the flour was seasoned. And see, that has a nice taste. But what I want to do is go back and flavor it a little bit more. I'm using garlic powder. I'm going to use some onion powder. I'm going to use some black pepper. But you always want to taste first because, like I said, your flour was seasoned. So a little black pepper. We're going to add a little bit of sea salt, okay? Just a little bit of sea salt. And then a tiny bit of accent, just to enhance the flavors. Make sure it's on super low. And you want to go ahead and mix again. You can use your whisk or your spoon, wooden spoon, whatever utensils you have, and just go ahead and mix that really good. And let it slow cook until you get the taste that you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give this one good stir. put it on super low and let it just kind of cook and do its thing, and come back and check on it and stir it. And when those turkey wings are almost done, guess what? We're gonna pour this gravy all over it, and the turkey meat is gonna be falling off the bone, and it's gonna be so freaking yummy. So right before you get ready to let this kind of slow cook, you're gonna go back and taste it, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and give it one more good taste. Look like I added a little bit too much pepper, but we're gonna see. Oh no, that is perfect, guys. So yummy. And if you need a little bit more salt, I think mine is perfect. But if you need a little bit more salt, I would add a tad bit of Creole seasoning for a hint of spice, and it's gonna be perfect. But this tastes so amazing. I can't make this up, guys. It's so yummy. So go ahead, one more good stir. Keep it on low and let it simmer for, I would say, about 10 minutes, so that all those flavors from the bell peppers, the onions, the garlic, and everything that you just added mixes all in there. And then you could kind of turn it off and put a lid over it and just let it sit there until your turkey wings are pretty much almost done. And then we're gonna go ahead and add this gravy to the turkey wings for an additional 20 to 30 minutes. And it's gonna be so freaking yummy. So I will be back. Guys, so it has been 2 hours. My turkey wings are now complete. Be careful, guys, don't let that steam to burn you. You see that? So now we just have to add our gravy and add it back in the oven for about another 30 minutes. You hear that? Gravy. Now guys, we're gonna take our gravy, pour it over our turkey wings, mix it in really good, put it back in the oven for about 30 minutes. You can serve it over rice, whatever you want to do, but it's so yummy. It's gonna be tender and falling off the bone. Just kind of mix it in, and you can throw it in the oven with the top off, no foil on. Set your timer for about another 25 to 30 minutes. We are going to put the foil back on very tight and then put it in the oven. We want that gravy to heat back up and get everything nice and tender. I have the timer set for 25 minutes and we're gonna check back on this. Guys, look at these turkey wings. Look at them falling right off the bone. Isn't that amazing? So yummy. All those flavors in there. The gravy is nice. A nice consistency. Added over some rice. Look at that. Don't you just want to taste it? Yes. Now we're gonna get ready to plate. Hey, look at these turkey wings falling off the bone. Ooh. What? All right, guys, now it's time to plate. You wanna get you some rice. I have my daughter filming right now. I'm gonna go right over here to the turkey meat. Get you a nice big wing. You don't want it to break. Hold on now. Put that right over your rice. Take you some gravy and pour it over. And it is so amazingly delicious. Do you see all that goodness and all that flavor? Now it's time for a taste test. You want to get your fork and dig right on in. Grab it with some gravy and some rice. Oh my God. I hate to smack, guys, but it's so amazingly delicious. And thank you guys all for tuning in. I want you to like, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification button so you miss no more deliciousness, okay? Thank you guys, and I hope to see you next time.